Commander Elena Rodriguez stood at the window of Lunar Base Alpha, her dark eyes fixed on the blue marble of Earth hanging in the void. The antiquated displays and crude fusion reactors around her were all part of an elaborate performance, one that humanity had maintained for over 3 centuries. The warning came through quantum channels hidden deep within the moon's core. Drachnid warships, emerging from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. First contact was no longer a theoretical exercise. The moment humanity had prepared for since the great discovery of 2089 had finally arrived. Status report, Elena commanded, maintaining the practiced facade of a primitive Space Force commander. Around her, the crew performed their roles perfectly, acting out the part of a species barely capable of lunar colonization. Lieutenant James Chen's voice crackled through deliberately static-filled communications. 3 capital ships detected, Commander. Energy signatures matched Drachnid Imperial vessels. They're broadcasting on standard electromagnetic frequencies. Elena allowed herself a small smile. The Drachnids had taken the bait, the carefully crafted image of Earth as a promising but underdeveloped world. If they had detected the quantum sensors tracking their every move, or the vast civilization hidden beneath Earth's oceans, they showed no sign of it. The first transmission came exactly as their behavioral models had predicted. A towering hologram materialized in the base's crude receiving chamber. Supreme Commander Vexthor of the Drachnid Empire, his scaled face bearing the imperious expression of one who had conquered 1,000 worlds. People of Earth, the translation matrix rendered his words in perfect English, though they maintained the pretense of struggling to decode his message. Your world has been chosen for integration into the Drachnid Empire. Your technological achievements, while modest, show promise. Submit to imperial authority, and you shall be granted the privilege of serving a greater cause. Elena played her role flawlessly, projecting the perfect mix of awe and fear. This is Commander Rodriguez of the Earth Space Defense Force. We request time to consult with our world's leaders. You have 12 hours, Vexthor declared, his hologram dissolving. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in the hidden city of Atlantis Prime, the real leaders of humanity were already in session. First Speaker Diana Patel stood before the Global Defense Council, her aged face illuminated by holographic displays showing the Drachnid fleet's position. The moment we discovered the ruins of the precursor base on Mars 3 centuries ago, we knew this day would come. She addressed the assembled representatives. We learned of the Drachnid Empire's existence, their pattern of conquest, and their technological capabilities, and we made the hardest choice in human history: to hide our true progress, to build our strength in secret, to prepare for this very moment. The chamber hummed with the energy of centuries of preparation. The public Earth above was a carefully maintained illusion, a world of nation-states, limited space travel, and primitive fusion power. The real Earth, hidden beneath the waves and deep within hollowed-out mountains, was something else entirely. Project Leviathan is ready, Admiral Marcus Zhang reported, his neural implants projecting detailed readiness statistics. The defense fleet is at full strength. Quantum shields are operating at peak efficiency. The precursor technologies we've refined are fully integrated into our systems. Diana nodded gravely, and the Drachnids suspect nothing. Our surface facade is maintaining integrity. Complete success, confirmed Dr. Sarah O'Connor, head of the Deception Division. Their scans show exactly what we want them to see: a Type 1 civilization barely reaching for the stars. The quantum masking fields are performing perfectly. They have no idea that we've hollowed out the moon, that we've built cities under every ocean, that we've mastered technologies their science says are impossible. Then we proceed as planned, Diana declared. Let them think us weak. Let them think us primitive. When they move to conquer what they believe is an easy target, they'll learn the true strength of humanity. In lunar orbit, Elena continued the performance. She sent panicked transmissions to Earth, orchestrated clumsy attempts at military preparation, and played the part of a commander facing an overwhelming force. Every transmission was calculated to reinforce the Drachnid's sense of superiority. Vexthor's satisfaction was evident in his next communication. "Your time grows short, Commander. The Empire's patience is not unlimited." "Please," Alina pleaded, injecting just the right amount of desperation into her voice. "Our leaders are still debating. We've never encountered advanced life before. This is all so overwhelming." The Drachnid commander's laugh rumbled through the speakers. "Debate is pointless. Your orbital weapons platforms are primitive. Your ships lack even basic gravity manipulation. Resistance would be futile." Below the Atlantic Ocean, in a vast chamber that could hold a dozen Imperial capital ships, Admiral Zhang watched the exchange with grim satisfaction. Around him, crews made final preparations on weapons that would rewrite the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. The quantum entanglement drives, reversed engineered from precursor tech and improved upon by human innovation, hummed with barely contained power. "All deep-sea facilities report ready," his aide reported. "Quantum shields at full power. The entire defense fleet is in position and masked. Surface deception protocols are holding steady." Zhang allowed himself a moment to appreciate the scale of what humanity had achieved. While the rest of the galaxy fought openly for supremacy, humanity had chosen a different path. They had hidden their true civilization beneath the waves, developed technologies in secret, and prepared for the day when the galaxy would come calling. The 12-hour deadline approached its end. In Moonbase, Alina made a show of growing desperation. She ordered her crews to battle stations, powered up the obsolete weapons that were never meant to be fired, and waited for the Drachnids to make their move. Right on schedule, Vexthor's patience ran out. "Your time is over. The Empire claims this world. Prepare for subjugation." The Drachnid ships moved into attack position, their weapons charging. They expected a brief show of resistance from primitive planetary defenses. They expected to easily overwhelm Earth's meager forces. They expected another simple conquest for the glory of the Empire. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Alina smiled as she received the coded quantum transmission from Atlantis Prime. 3 centuries of deception were about to end. Humanity's greatest performance was about to reach its final. And the galaxy would never be the same. Operation Deep Shadow. The waters of the Pacific Ocean churned with unusual force as first speaker Diana Patil gave the command that humanity had rehearsed for centuries. Initiate Operation Deep Shadow. Authorization code. Prometheus Rising. Across Earth's oceans, massive quantum fields began to shift. The carefully maintained holographic coverage that had hidden humanity's true achievements for 300 years prepared to drop. In the hidden city of Atlantis Prime, Admiral Zhang stood before a wall of quantum-linked displays, watching as the greatest reveal in human history began to unfold. All deep-sea facilities reporting ready, his neural interface pulsed with incoming data, quantum shield generators at maximum capacity, surface deception protocols disengaging in 3, 2, 1. Above, the Drachnid fleet held position over Earth's major population centers, their weapons primed. Supreme Commander Vexthor's scaled face filled the broadcasts to every surviving surface communication system. "Your primitive defenses are disabled. Your lunar base is surrounded. Submit to Imperial authority, and your species may yet serve a greater purpose." Alina Rodriguez, still maintaining her role in the lunar base, allowed a hint of her true nature to show through. "Actually, Supreme Commander, I believe it's time we showed you our greater purpose." The oceans began to part. Not in one place, but in dozens of locations across the globe. Vast sections of the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans separated like curtains being drawn back, the water held in place by quantum containment fields that defied conventional physics. From these massive openings, humanity's true civilization began to emerge. First came the cities, vast metropolises of crystalline structures and impossible geometries, rising from the ocean floor on pillars of pure energy. Their quantum shields shimmered with colors the Drachnid sensors couldn't even process, the product of technologies reverse-engineered from precursor artifacts and enhanced by centuries of human innovation. Then came the fleet. Ships rose from the depths in perfect formation, their dark hulls absorbing light in ways that made the Drachnid sensors scream in confusion. These weren't the crude fusion-powered vessels that Earth had displayed on its surface. These were weapons of war that incorporated technologies the Drachnid Empire had deemed impossible: quantum entanglement drives, temporal phase shields, and weapons that could tear apart the fabric of reality itself. In his flagship, Vexthor's scales paled as his tactical displays updated. Where his sensors had previously shown empty ocean, they now revealed a military force that dwarfed the entire Drachnid Imperial fleet. "Impossible," he hissed. This cannot be." "Oh, but it is." Alina's voice came through with perfect clarity, all pretense of primitive communications gone. While the galaxy fought its wars in the open, humanity chose a different path. We hid. We built. We prepared. Those ruins you found on your conquered worlds. We found their source. The precursor base on Mars showed us what was possible, and we exceeded even their achievements. The quantum-linked screens in Atlantis Prime showed the Drachnid fleet's confusion as they attempted to process the situation. Their sensors, designed to detect known forms of technology, were overwhelmed by the principles humanity had developed in secret. Their tactical computers, programmed for conventional warfare, had no protocols for what they were witnessing. Diana Patel's voice joined the transmission, her tone carrying the weight of centuries of preparation. "Your empire conquers through technological superiority, Supreme Commander, but you display your advances openly, allowing others to study them, to develop countermeasures. We chose to keep our true strength hidden, to develop technologies your science said were impossible, to prepare for this very moment." As if to demonstrate her point, a single human vessel, smaller than the smallest Drachnid destroyer, performed an impossible maneuver. It seemed to fold space around itself, reappearing instantly beside Vexthor's flagship. The Drachnid vessel's quantum sensors registered energy readings that broke their mathematical models. Admiral Zhang's voice cut through the chaos. "That demonstration used approximately 1/1,000,000th of the energy our fleet can deploy, Supreme Commander. Your ship's shield frequencies are already mapped. Your weapon systems are already compromised. We've had centuries to perfect our approach to this moment." The reveal continued as more of humanity's hidden achievements became visible. Massive defense platforms emerged from mountain ranges, their formations having been disguised as natural formations for centuries. The moon's surface shifted, revealing vast hangar bays and weapon emplacements that had been hidden since humanity's first public lunar landing. "Your empire claims to rule through superior force," Diana continued. "But true superiority isn't just about having the strongest weapons. It's about knowing when to show your strength and when to hide it." In lunar orbit, Alina finally dropped all pretense of her command role. The crude displays of Lunar Base Alpha dissolved, revealing the quantum computing centers they had concealed. Her neural interfaces connected directly with the base's true systems, displaying the full tactical situation in her enhanced vision. 3 centuries ago, humanity made a choice. She addressed the Drachnid commander. "When we found the precursor base, when we learned of the galaxy's true nature, we could have announced ourselves. We could have joined the galactic community openly, shared our discoveries, fought our wars in the open like everyone else. Instead, we chose patience. We chose preparation. We chose to perfect technologies that your empire's best scientists declared impossible." The Drachnid fleet's sensors continued to register new impossibilities as more of Earth's defenses revealed themselves. Quantum entanglement fields larger than continents. Temporal manipulation systems that could locally alter the flow of time. Weapons based on principles that violated what the Empire considered fundamental laws of physics. "Your conquest of 1,000 worlds taught us everything we needed to know," Admiral Zhang added. "Each species you encountered fought you openly, showed you their strengths and weaknesses. We learned from their mistakes. We built our true civilization in the one place your sensors couldn't penetrate." under Earth's oceans, masked by quantum fields, and protected by technologies you never imagined possible. Vexthor's composure finally broke. What are your demands? Diana's response was calm but carried an unmistakable edge. Demands? No, Supreme Commander, this isn't a negotiation. This is a revelation. Humanity isn't joining your empire. We're announcing our presence to the galaxy on our own terms. The question isn't what we demand of you. It's whether your empire is wise enough to accept the new reality this day represents. As if to emphasize her point, more of humanity's hidden fleet emerged from the oceans. Ships that could dance between moments of time. Weapons that could reshape space itself. Defenses that made the Empire's best attacks look primitive in comparison. 3 centuries of hidden preparation finally revealed to a galaxy that had dismissed Earth as an insignificant world. The galaxy's balance of power just changed, Alina declared. Your empire can either adapt to this new reality, or it can learn firsthand why we spent 3 centuries perfecting our military technology in secret. The choice, Supreme Commander, is yours. Supreme Commander Vexthor had conquered 1,000 worlds, but he had never faced a situation like this. His tactical displays were flooded with readings that defied imperial science, showing weapons and defenses that shouldn't exist. Yet there they were, humanity's hidden fleet, surrounding his forces with technologies that made his most advanced ships look primitive. Your response, Commander? Diana Patel's voice carried the weight of centuries of preparation. Will the Drachnid Empire choose wisdom or war? Vexthor's scales flickered with rage. 3 centuries of military experience screamed at him that this was wrong, that no species could hide such advancement, that no civilization could master technologies his scientists had deemed impossible. His clawed hand moved toward the combat authorization control. If it's demonstration you require, Admiral Zhang's voice cut through the tension. We're happy to oblige. A single human vessel, designated Hyperion, moved with impossible grace. One moment it was part of the defensive formation, the next it simply existed at 12 different points in space simultaneously. The Drachnid sensors couldn't track the movement because there was no movement to track. The ship was literally existing in multiple locations at once. Temporal Phase Division, Alina explained from her command post, now revealed to be a quantum computing hub rather than a primitive lunar base. Just one of many technologies we developed while pretending to struggle with basic fusion power. Vexthor's response came in the form of plasma torpedoes, the Empire's most devastating weapon. The energized projectiles streaked toward the Hyperion's 12 manifestations, only to pass through them harmlessly. The ship hadn't dodged. Rather, it had shifted slightly out of phase with normal spacetime. Impressive weapons, Zhang commented. We studied similar designs 2 centuries ago, before moving on to more advanced principles. To demonstrate his point, the Hyperion's 12 instances synchronized. A beam of pure quantum energy lanced out, not targeting the Drachnid ships directly, but rather altering the fundamental forces in a sphere of space around them. The Empire's mighty shields, designed to resist any known form of attack, were suddenly trying to defend against the local laws of physics being rewritten. In Atlantis Prime's command center, Diana watched the tactical displays with calm satisfaction. The Temporal Phase Division is actually one of our simpler innovations, Supreme Commander. Would you like to see what our more advanced ships can do? She didn't wait for a response. At her command, the true might of humanity's hidden fleet began to move. Ships emerged from quantum storage dimensions, their hulls crafted from materials that absorbed energy and redirected it through higher dimensions. Weapons powered up that didn't so much destroy their targets as temporarily remove their possibility of existence. Vexthor's rage finally overwhelmed his judgment. All ships, open fire. Show these humans the true might of the Empire. The space around Earth erupted in energies that would have annihilated most civilizations. Plasma torpedoes, quantum disruptors, and gravitic crushers, the most powerful weapons in the Imperial arsenal, streaked toward Earth's defenders. They never reached their targets. Humanity's quantum shields didn't just absorb the attacks. They captured the energy, analyzed it, and redirected it through dimensional gates that hadn't existed moments before. Each Imperial weapon became a source of power for Earth's defenses, their energy transformed and repurposed in ways that violated what the Drachnids considered possible. Perhaps a more practical demonstration is needed, Alina suggested. Her neural interfaces connected directly with the lunar defense grid, another system that had been hidden beneath the moon's surface for centuries. Initiating contained temporal inversion. A sphere of distorted space-time enveloped one of the Drachnid destroyers. Within the sphere, cause and effect began to operate in reverse. The destroyer's weapons fired backwards, its shields activated after attacks had already landed, and its crew experienced events in an order that their minds couldn't process. "That's enough," Diana commanded before the demonstration could cause permanent damage. The temporal sphere dissolved, leaving the destroyer's crew shaken but unharmed. "We could destroy your entire fleet, Supreme Commander. We could rewrite the quantum states of your ships or erase them from this timeline entirely. But that's not our goal." In his flagship's command center, Vex Thor's tactical officers were in chaos. Their sensors were detecting energy signatures that broke their mathematical models. Their weapons were being turned against them in ways they couldn't understand. And worse, the humans were clearly holding back, treating this like a training exercise rather than actual combat. "How?" he finally demanded. "How did you hide all this?" Admiral Zhang's response was almost gentle. "The same way we hid our cities beneath the oceans. The same way we concealed our lunar installations. We understood something that your empire forgot long ago. True power isn't about displaying strength, but knowing when to hide it." As if to emphasize his point, another wave of human ships emerged from quantum storage. These vessels were smaller, more agile, but their design spoke of technologies far beyond anything the Empire had achieved. They moved through space like it was suggestion rather than law, their quantum drives allowing them to ignore conventional physics. "Your Empire's greatest weakness," Diana explained, "is that you think power must be displayed to be real. You conquer worlds openly, showcase your technological superiority, and assume that anything you can't detect must not exist. We chose a different path." Alina's voice joined in, her tone carrying centuries of vindication. "While you were conquering those 1,000 worlds, humanity was watching, learning. Every species that resisted you showed their capabilities openly, and you developed counters to their technologies. But you never faced an enemy who spent centuries hiding their true strength, perfecting technologies in secret, preparing for this exact moment." The Drachnid fleet hung in space, surrounded by forces they couldn't understand using technologies they couldn't counter. Their sensors showed weapons that could unmake reality itself, defenses that violated causality, and ships that treated the fundamental laws of physics as polite suggestions. "The galaxy changes today," Diana declared. "The Empire's technical superiority was an illusion, maintained only because truly advanced civilizations chose to hide their capabilities. Humanity is simply the first to reveal the truth." In lunar orbit, Alina's quantum sensors detected more Imperial ships arriving at the edge of the solar system, reinforcements responding to Vex Thor's distress call. She smiled as her neural interfaces showed their positions. "More of your fleet arrives, Supreme Commander. Shall we demonstrate our planetary defense capabilities as well?" The new Imperial ships emerged from faster-than-light travel directly into carefully prepared quantum fields. Their mighty engines, capable of crossing light years, found themselves trying to function in spaces where the speed of light itself was locally variable. Their weapons, designed to overcome any known defense, faced shields that operated on principles their sciences couldn't explain. "Enough." Vex Thor's voice carried the bitter taste of defeat. "You've made your point, humans. The Empire requests terms." Diana's response was calm, but carried the weight of inevitable victory. "The terms are simple, Supreme Commander. The Empire will acknowledge Earth's sovereignty and our right to defend our interests throughout space. In return, we won't demonstrate these technologies to other species you've subjugated. At least, not yet. The implied threat hung in space along with the human fleet, the possibility that humanity might share their advanced technologies with other worlds under Imperial control. Vexthor's scales rippled with the realization of just how completely his empire had been outmaneuvered. In Atlantis Prime, Diana watched as the Drachnid fleet began to power down their weapons. Humanity's greatest gamble had paid off. 3 centuries of hiding, building, and preparing had culminated in this moment of bloodless victory. The galaxy would never be the same, and humanity was ready to help shape its new future. The Great Hall of Atlantis Prime had never hosted alien diplomats before. For centuries, it had been one of humanity's most closely guarded secrets, its crystalline architecture and quantum-engineered materials hidden beneath the Pacific Ocean. Now, as representatives from across the galaxy gathered within its impossible spaces, the hall served as a testament to humanity's deception and achievement. First speaker Diana Patel stood before the assembled diplomatic corps, her aged face illuminated by displays showing real-time translations in 100 alien languages. "Welcome to Earth's true face," she began. "I suspect you all have questions." The Drachnid delegation, led by Imperial High Chancellor Kexri, sat in uncomfortable silence. Their once mighty empire had been the first to learn of humanity's hidden strength, and now they watched as other species discovered the same shocking truth. Ambassador Zell of the Centaurian Concordat was the first to speak. "How many other secrets have you hidden from the galaxy? How many other weapons do you possess that defy our understanding of physics?" "That's not the right question," Elena Rodriguez answered from her position beside Diana. She had traded her fake lunar commander's uniform for the sleek quantum-reactive clothing of Earth's true military. "The question is, how many other species have hidden their true capabilities? How many other civilizations have chosen our path?" The assembled diplomats stirred uncomfortably. The implications were staggering. If humanity had managed to hide such advanced technology, how many other species had done the same? The Drachnid Empire's technical superiority was based on a false assumption, Admiral Zhang explained, his neural interfaces projecting tactical data for all to see. They believed that power had to be displayed to be real. They never considered that true advancement might lie in the art of concealment. The Arxian ambassador, their crystalline form shimmering with agitation, raised an appendage. The resources required, the coordination needed to maintain such a deception. It should have been impossible. Diana smiled. 3 centuries ago, when we discovered the precursor base on Mars, humanity faced a choice. We could reveal our findings, join the galactic community openly, and fight our wars in plain sight like everyone else. Instead, we chose patience. We chose preparation. We chose to hide our true civilization beneath Earth's oceans, behind quantum fields that your sciences said were impossible. The diplomatic chamber hummed with tension as the implications sank in. The humans hadn't just hidden their military might. They had concealed an entire civilization, developing technologies in secret that rewrote the rules of what was possible. But why? Demanded the Drachnid High Chancellor. Why maintain the facade of a primitive species? Why endure centuries of perceived weakness? Elena's response was pointed. Ask yourself, Chancellor, how does your empire choose its targets? You seek out species that show promise but remain technically inferior. You display your might openly, allowing potential enemies to study your capabilities. We simply use your own assumptions against you. The tactical displays shifted, showing the true extent of Earth's hidden achievements. Quantum storage dimensions that shouldn't exist. Temporal manipulation systems that violated causality. Weapons that could locally rewrite the laws of physics. The galaxy's balance of power hasn't just shifted, Diana declared. It was never what you thought it was. Humanity may be the first to reveal our true capabilities, but I doubt we're the only ones who chose this path. As if to confirm her words, the Proximan ambassador stepped forward. Their species had been one of the first conquered by the Drachnid Empire. Their seemingly primitive technology, no match for imperial might. But now their posture had changed. Perhaps, they said carefully, it is time for other truths to emerge. The diplomatic chamber erupted in barely controlled chaos as the implications became clear. The Proximans had hidden capabilities of their own. How many other supposedly conquered species had done the same? High Chancellor Kexry's scales darkened with realization. You're destroying everything. The entire galactic order. No, Diana corrected. We're revealing the truth about that order. Your empire's dominance was based on the assumption that technology had to be visible to be real. That assumption ends today. Ambassador Zill's auxiliary breathing membranes fluttered with excitement. The Centaurian Concordat would be interested in learning more about Earth's quantum storage technology. As would the Arxian Collective, their crystalline ambassador added. Diana held up a hand. We're not here to start a new arms race. Humanity's revelation isn't about replacing one military superpower with another. It's about fundamentally changing how the galaxy thinks about power and progress. The tactical displays shifted again, showing the true face of Earth's civilization. The underwater cities that had remained hidden for centuries. The lunar installations that had masqueraded as primitive bases. The quantum computing networks that had been concealed beneath mountains and oceans. Your empire's greatest failure, Elena addressed the Drachnid delegation, wasn't military or technological. It was imagination. You never considered that a truly advanced civilization might choose to hide its progress. You never wondered what secrets might lie beneath the oceans of the worlds you conquered. Admiral Zhang's neural interfaces projected new data. Already, we're detecting changes in quantum fields around supposedly primitive worlds. Other species are preparing to reveal their own hidden capabilities. The age of deception is ending, not because we chose to end it, but because it has served its purpose. The diplomatic chamber fell silent as the magnitude of the change became clear. The galaxy's power structure hadn't just been disrupted, it had been revealed as an illusion. Species that had appeared primitive might possess technologies that rivaled or surpassed humanity's achievements. We propose a new framework for galactic relations, Diana announced. One based not on displayed military might, but on the understanding that true power often lies hidden. The Drachnid Empire will survive, but it must adapt to a galaxy where technological superiority can no longer be assumed. High Chancellor Kexry's scales rippled with suppressed emotion. And if we refuse, then we will share our quantum storage technology with every world in your empire, Elena replied calmly. How many of your subjected species have hidden capabilities of their own? How many would welcome the chance to reveal their true strength? The threat wasn't lost on anyone. The Empire's dominance had been based on technological superiority, a superiority that now appeared increasingly questionable. The game has changed, Diana concluded. The galaxy's future will be shaped not by those who display their power openly, but by those who understand the strength in hiding it. Humanity is ready to help guide this transition, but we will not allow any return to the old order. As the diplomatic session continued, quantum sensors detected increasing activity across the galaxy. More species were preparing to reveal their hidden capabilities. More civilizations were choosing to emerge from centuries of careful deception. The age of obvious power was ending. The age of hidden strength was about to begin. And humanity, having orchestrated the greatest revelation in galactic history, stood ready to help shape whatever came next. 1 year after humanity's revelation, the galaxy was still transforming. Diana Patel stood in the observation dome of Atlantis Prime, watching holographic displays track the cascade of revelations across known space. Every week brought news of another species emerging from hiding, another civilization revealing technologies that shouldn't exist. The Proximan revelation was confirmed this morning. Elena Rodriguez reported, her neural interfaces streaming real-time data. Their crystal caves weren't natural formations. They were quantum computing cores that rivaled our own. They'd been hiding them since before the Empire arrived. Admiral Zhang nodded, his aged face reflecting the blue light of the holographic stars. And the Arxians revealed their biological quantum networks last week. It seems we weren't the only ones who chose to hide our true capabilities. The galaxy that had once seemed clearly ordered, with the Drachnid Empire at its technological peak and other species arranged in neat hierarchies below, had dissolved into fascinating complexity. Power structures that had stood for millennia were being rewritten as hidden strengths emerged into the light. The Empire's response? Diana asked, though she already knew the answer. Adaptation, Elena replied with a slight smile. They're learning that survival requires flexibility. High Chancellor Kexray has proposed a new framework for imperial governance, one that acknowledges the possibility of hidden capabilities in every species they encounter. The holographic display shifted to show the latest diplomatic gathering on the former imperial capital. Where once the Drachnids had towered over subjugated species, now representatives stood as equals, each harboring knowledge of technologies that could reshape reality itself. The precursors would be fascinated, Zhang mused. When we found their base on Mars 3 centuries ago, we thought we were discovering their greatest achievements. Instead, we were learning their greatest lesson, that true power lies in knowing when to hide it. Diana turned from the display to face her colleagues. And now that lesson reshapes the galaxy. But the question remains, why did the precursors hide their most advanced technology in such an obvious place? Why leave their greatest achievements where they knew someone would eventually find them? The question had haunted humanity's leaders since the discovery. The precursor base on Mars had contained technological insights that defied conventional physics, but its location, just one planet away from Earth, seemed almost deliberately obvious. Perhaps, Elena suggested, that was their real legacy. Not the technology itself, but the understanding that true advancement means knowing when to keep it hidden. The holographic displays shifted again, showing the latest data from deep space probes. More quantum fields were being detected around supposedly primitive worlds. More civilizations were preparing to reveal capabilities that they had hidden for centuries or millennia. The Centaurian Concordat's revelation was particularly interesting, Zhang noted. Their primitive solar collection systems were actually drawing power from parallel dimensions. They'd been hiding quantum technology inside what looked like simple fusion reactors. Diana smiled. Just as we hid our quantum cores in underwater geothermal plants, it seems great minds think alike, even across species. The transformation wasn't just technological. As more species revealed their hidden capabilities, new forms of cooperation emerged. Civilizations that had appeared primitive were sharing advances that they had developed in secret. The galaxy's understanding of what was possible expanded with each revelation. The Empire's scientists are still trying to understand how we maintain the deception, Elena reported with a touch of pride. They can't quite grasp how we hid an entire civilization beneath Earth's oceans for 3 centuries. The same way the Proximans hid their quantum cores in crystal caves, Diana replied. The same way the Arxians disguised biological computers as natural formations. We all understood that the best place to hide advanced technology is behind the facade of primitive achievement. The holographic display zoomed in on Earth, showing the network of underwater cities that had remained hidden for so long. What had once been humanity's greatest secret was now a symbol of a new age, one where advancement wasn't measured by display power, but by the wisdom to know when to keep capabilities hidden. The latest diplomatic reports are interesting, Zhang noted, his neural interfaces streaming fresh data. Several former imperial worlds are proposing a new framework for technological exchange, not based on displayed capabilities, but on the understanding that every species might have hidden strengths to contribute. Diana nodded. The age of obvious power is over. The galaxy is learning what humanity discovered 3 centuries ago. That true strength often lies in what remains unseen. The transformation hadn't been without challenges. Some species had revealed technologies that threatened the fabric of space-time itself. Others had demonstrated capabilities that raised serious ethical questions. But the general trend was toward a new kind of cooperation, one based on mutual respect for hidden potential. The Drachnid Empire's military academies have completely revised their training, Alina reported with a hint of amusement. Their new doctrine assumes that every species, no matter how primitive they appear, might possess technologies beyond imperial understanding. A wise adaptation, Diana observed, though I suspect they're still struggling with the implications. Their entire civilization was built on the assumption that power had to be visible to be real. The holographic display shifted one final time, showing the latest diplomatic conference in Atlantis Prime. Representatives from across the galaxy gathered in the underwater city, each carrying secrets of their own, each understanding that visible achievement might be only the surface of any species' true capabilities. The precursor's real gift wasn't technology, Zhang mused. It was this moment, this transformation of how the galaxy understands power and progress. Diana smiled. Perhaps that's why they left their base on Mars, not just to share their technological achievements, but to teach us, and through us, the galaxy, that true advancement often means choosing to hide our capabilities until the right moment. The revelation cascade continued across known space. Each week brought news of another species emerging from hiding, another civilization choosing to share technologies they had kept secret for generations. The galaxy that had once seemed clearly ordered was becoming something far more interesting, a complex web of hidden capabilities and unexpected strengths. The legacy of the deep, Alina said softly, watching the holographic stars swirl. Not just humanity's hidden cities beneath the oceans, but the deeper truth we helped the galaxy discover. That real power lies in knowing when to keep it hidden and when to reveal it. Diana nodded, her aged face reflecting both pride and contemplation. And now we help guide the galaxy through this transformation. Not as conquerors or liberators, but as the first to understand that true civilization might mean choosing to hide our greatest achievements until the moment is right. The observation dome of Atlantis Prime, filled with the light of 1 billion stars. Somewhere out there, more civilizations were preparing to reveal their hidden strengths. More species were choosing to emerge from centuries or millennia of careful deception. The galaxy would never be the same. And that, perhaps, was the greatest achievement of all. Not the technologies humanity had hidden beneath the waves, but the transformation they had sparked by choosing the perfect moment to reveal them.